and Team Freedom, who have defeated Gale Force on home turf Braxis holdout. Where do we go next?
I'm sorry, we even have the original Dorm fan. Or fan Victor.
That's
in
true.
This. We have all the Dorm champions that have played professionally in the series. That's a little weird to think about. It kind of, boom, light bulb came on, didn't hear a word you said. You can go back.
Battleground. Let's do it. It's
baby.
ready now. I won't even make you guess.
Warhead Junction for Team Freedom. I am so excited.
Why is that, Dred?
Because Team Freedom doesn't normally pick a map like Warhead Junction. Team Freedom normally doesn't pick weird maps in general.
Well, yeah.
So when Team Freedom's willing to already go a game up against Gale Force, and then first map they're busting out, it's got to be the Warhead, you know. And maybe not cheese, but something, at least a very well thought out strategy is about to be unfolded, and I'm ready to see what it is.
Seems pretty juicy to me, Dred.
It is.
Warhead Junction, I mean, we've talked about the globals, the strategy of North America on Warhead Junction before. Your aim to make sure to get one of the lanes open as quickly as possible for boss nuke explosion on the core. As fast as you can. We've seen some fast games that worked to the plan, and then we've seen some games that didn't work to plan on this battleground. But let's get into the draft for Game 2 with Freedom up 1-0.
Team Freedom was the map selector, meaning Gale Force will in fact be that first ban. Abathur is what they're going to remove. Not a surprise to see that from them. I don't know if this is a Medivh must situation for Freedom, and they don't feel like that's the case. They get rid of the TAS and are no TAS tracer today for GFE. So what is the first pick? Is it the Dahaka? Is it that ETC with the adjustment you just talked about in the last draft? Or do they get a little bit weird, go with something else?
If it's Dahaka, I want Genji all day for Freedom. Dansky's Genji, Kyr's Genji, I don't care. I just want Genji for Team Freedom.
I'm going to be honest. I feel like Dansky secretly just carries all over. I mean, I was thinking about it yesterday, and the idea of me making like a North American dream team, right? At the beginning of season versus right now is very different. And a lot of the people on my dream team are ones that like I've never competed with. They aren't like those old peers like they used to be. There's like, I put Dansky on. I forgot I had one more that was like you would never expect it at first glance for me to put it on. I just wanted to highlight that because Dansky for me and the Genjis, the Medivhs, those type of plays has been so standout.
That's pretty good
Team
too.
Freedom.
That's pretty good too. The Illidan Rhaegar.
Illidan Rhaegar.
I can accept that.
It's got, you know, the bite that the members of Team Freedom typically like to have here. The offensive play style synergizes well. But Gale Force is willing to stick to their cow up in the first pick. I do not want this to be a losing side lane ETC. I can tell you that much.
I agree. Give me Mosh or give me Game 3.
No, it's probably going to be. Quote.
Yeah, it's probably going to be stage time. That was good. I give you 10 out of 10 of that one.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I was pretty proud of that.
I can always tell because you say it and instantly die. The quickness with which you just break down in laughter after the jokes you make lets me know how proud you are in them.
It is. It's a pretty good indicator. Yeah, the worst ones are the ones where I'm so proud I can't even get the joke
You can't finish it. We had one of those this weekend.
It's a good one. Gale Force here. 7 seconds remain. What do we got on the ticker here? Dahaka Brightwing. More globals.
They're doing the exact same thing they did versus Freedom last time.
You know what, Gilly? How about you go ahead and bring it back? Let me know how that worked out for them.
They lost.
So?
3-1? I don't know if I remember the exact score, but they lost that series.
They did lose that
series. That was the only
series.
series they lost in all of Phase 2.
So are you a little bit
1.
scared now, or do you get more confidence? What do you see?
If you can run it, if you can run these globals, Gale Force is the global team. I just feel like Freedom, they already have the hunt. Maybe it's too many now. Maybe 3 is far too many. They're surely going to ban Falstad, right, at this point? What about Zagara? There's too many.
There are too many. I mean, it is kind of weird to think about. You know, how many globals we do have in, and it's like we're now past all the tier 1s. Is it worth even the bans? Is the global aspect that big of a strength for Gale Force to be considering the Falstad or the Zagara ban? I want to say no, but you might be right. That might be necessary to ensure that you don't get matched 3-2 into your globals. You've obviously prioritized them.
Yes, it is the core concept of your composition now.
I like that one. The core concept of my composition. You
love alliteration.
You might have to go into public speaking. That was a good one.
Thank you.
What do you think out of Gale Force then? Since we know...
I thought it was going to be a Falstad ban.
Yeah, but let's say it's not. You know, let's just go outside of the global argument. What are you afraid of? You have so many anti-melees, death balls, that Illidan death ball compositions outside of a Tyrael are not intimidating. Tyrael is so hit or miss in North America in terms of even if you're willing to venture into picking him, that it goes to, he's never worth the ban to me until you prove you can play him, right? And Tempo's the only team who's like willing to pick a random Tyrael. And then they go with the fall stat.
All global control for Gale Force Esports. They're not the only team that has favored this kind of playstyle in the past. We've seen Fnatic play a very global heavy composition very well. Even versus Team Dignitas at the mid-season brawl.
Global compositions in the world of like we get a late Medivh for the members of Team Freedom on Warhead Junction. Not too common of a pick, but one I don't mind. Dansky's going to be the one playing that there. What did you say right before this? I actually had something useful to say.
All global comps. Fnatic. Mid-season brawl.
All global compositions. It still is failing to ring a bell here. It's going to hit me in like 3 seconds. I'm sorry.
That's all right. We'll have a little bit of time after the draft, as we always do, and you can go into your globals.
And just lose my soul to those sweet, sweet globals. They are so sweet. Globals, in theory, are an uncapped composition. I figured it out. Are uncapped composition in terms of potential. They legitimately can be anywhere at all points in time, right? But the burden of execution is, I mean, maybe some of the highest, maybe even more so than that of Tyrael compositions, and like, but not for the same reasons. It's really interesting because these are purely your lack of ability to execute them, whereas the Tyrael ones are because it's pretty straightforward in how to rid of them. And so it's one of those, I never mind a team committing to it, but I always go, can you actually do this, right? The synergy has to be
on point.
I mean, near flawless. And then you back it up with a double reset.
A double reset.
Gale Force, I see confidence when it comes to the heroes being picked here. Let's see if that translates over to Warhead, especially with that Medivh existing in the hands of Team Freedom.
And in the hands of a more than capable Medivh player, Dansky. Final choice. We're waiting for the Warrior. It's going to be a new Barak again. New Barak can cocoon Genji as he goes into Dragon Blade. He has a lot of peel for his team now, trying to stop the double resets. Cocoon, though, against Li Ming, should be able to be broken out of very fast.
The one concern I do have for the Li Ming and the Genji is, yes, there is a miles worth of crowd control on the side of Gale Force Esports, and if it catches that Illidan, he's going to be just, you know, feeling the hatred of 10,000 years on himself. But let's say the CC is used at any point in time to secure a different kill or something like, how is a double reset with unreliable, no sustained DPS going to rid of this Illidan? He is going to be a problem as long as he gets past that first. It's legitimately, you could draw a graph of like the crowd control is going through, and the minute that those stop, like his influence in a fight is going to just exponentially blow up here. And so I'm a little bit concerned for that. But if they get past that, the double reset, we know, and you remove the Genji or the Illidan, you're just going to have a heyday. It's going to be very easy. I naturally look at Gale Force as a more forgiving composition, but I look at Team Freedom as a more capable team, and also more importantly, they have Illidan and Medivh, which are not only their core compositions that they displayed in the past, accents the map, and honestly, I just think Medivh is far and above the best hero in the game right now.
Yeah, Medivh is going to make things really hard for Gale Force Esports because they're relying on a solo Brightwing as a way of supporting all of the teams. So let's see if Gale Force can use their global double reset composition to tie up this series 1-1 on Warhead Junction.
I actually had never seen that picture of whoever's on that tarp over there to the left-hand side before in my life until this load-in. You know,
shout-outs to Brosidon.
Yeah, I've just, you know, I've watched a lot of Heroes of the Storm. I've played a lot of Heroes of the Storm, and I still find weird stuff like that just randomly around the map.
And shout-outs to the devs.
And the art team. Just let's go ahead and go through the entire credits while we're out of here, Gilly.
Okay, well, that'll be the cast this game instead of talking about the actual game. You guys got this, right? You're seeing what's happening.
Yeah, you understand that when the one team kills the other core, in fact, the game's probably going to be over.
Probably. Not certain, but probably.
Q Bilvala going to help with that race for the members of Team Freedom.
That is a boss-killing composition that Team Freedom has.
I absolutely hate that Dansky can spray from that
I
form.
love that Medivh can Raven spray. What are you going to do about it?
Exactly. That's the problem. I can't do anything about it, Gilly. Oh, man. Laning situation for Gale Force. 5-man commitment to the first wave. Let's see what they decide to make happen after. See ETC anchoring. Dahaka did use the brush dock up towards top. That's a laning mismatch that you would expect. Illidan into the Dahaka. This is merely just anchoring. And Zugrug, notice, was the only one taking the risky rotation. That's probably for a reason, boys.
They knew. They were doing that all of last game. So Team Freedom not buying into the catch strategy of Gale Force Esports, hoping to get a quick kill. In the bottom, we have the 2-man of Nasmus and Collusion. Dansky can go where he's needed by sticking in the Raven form and keep track of wherever Gale Force is anchoring.
So I feel like I have got to be keeping a huge eye up on this top lane. Hold up here. I don't think the drag's going to come off cooldown yet. Fan went in. Not able to get the DPS out. But the Illidan into the Haka laning situation, other than obviously there's, first of all, a lot of global potential, which is going to force the Illidan to play a little bit more passive. But, and the Genji gank potential, but we have seen so little Illidan post-international performances, Western and Eastern Clash in the North American scene, but Dahaka has remained relevant. Yeah. Illidan was picked as the counter to Dahaka. Dahaka's still here, but Illidan has gone. So now I want to see maybe is a reason as to why. This is the first time we've truly got to see them go head-to-head. And I feel like we can, you know, take something from this.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to ever be that often that it's a fair 1v1, though. We've already seen Genji head up there once, and Brightwing can always shift up for a quick polymorph. But so Cure has to be on his toes in this matchup. And
it's good that the Illidan is the one who's in that situation, right? Which can make it prove maybe a little bit more. If Illidan still somehow can win it, maybe putting more of an argument into the lopsidedness of this laning mismatch. Double Warhead picked up, 1 for 1. Nobody getting an upper hand in that avenue.
Team Freedom looks to be posturing so that they can shoot that Warhead in the bottom lane, but it's going to be hard with King Caffeine and Fan here. Michael Edo's coming in. Nasmus looks to be the target. Catches with the drag. First blood for Gale Force.
Going to be full collapse from the members of Gale Force Esports, and it does show some profit after that Warhead's going down. Really well done. Just crisp and clean. It's just now all it comes down to is whether or not it was worth their time, worth the resources committed. Cure already has a pure drained top lane, and nobody's going to be able to make it up here for a long while. That's dead. The well is probably going to be going down afterwards. I think I land at pretty much even.
Yeah.
I don't think either team actually got a lead out of that.
Yeah, the nuke was shot off by Gale Force, so that weakens the bottom lane somewhat, but Cure did the same thing in the top lane. 1 kill slows down the stacking for Valo, which is nice. And as Dahaka, we saw how long it takes for him to run up to the top, but that gets better once he gets more enhanced agility stacks, as he's able to build up more of his essence. But for now, whenever he uses the stock all the way down, it must get the kill because of how much time it would give Cure to sit alone in the top lane and do damage.
So what do we see now with this after that camp was picked up? Power slide coming out for Caffeine. But you know, Dansky's there. I don't even understand. Why do people try and gank when Medivh's in the video game? It just, you know, it just seems near impossible.
Just a friendly hello.
That's true too. I guess, you know, give him the old fist bump. Talking about fist bumps, I think we got one on top. That's a good power slide position for King Caffeine.
Yeah, there's a mercenary camp pushing up. Collusion seeing if he can get an in to dropping this nuke, but wants to be careful because of King Caffeine. Now Zugrug is here to show up. Does he use this nuke here? Or does he save it?
Send down the missile Collusion. You've got the suitcase.
It's very scary because of Dahaka and ETC and Genji.
I don't know if it's worth the resource commitment.
Yeah.
It's one of those, if you absolutely want a boss race, it makes sense to be able to drop it now.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to go really kind of down the rabbit hole and talk about why warheads should be used on the keeps rather than the forts. Hold up, though. Nice collapse. And again, the portal lets Dansky survive, move right through. Nasmus actually going to go back in for a bit more aggression. But nothing gained. Illidan will pick up the bottom right camp, and we have 15 seconds for 4 warheads to collect themselves here.
2 in the top, and then a mid and bot, so the double stack is in the top lane, where a lot of the members of Team Freedom were anyway. Illidan in the bottom. Li Ming is there too, but Dahaka is also going to head down, and we can see where Brightwing wants to phase shift in. But if she's able to, it's just Brightwing versus a new Barak. That might make things difficult for Gale Force Esports.
It may be difficult. It's pretty easy to get the delay, but that drag landing is going to set up a very easy kill there. Really well done. Reset gained, but not necessarily needed. Ankaface is getting chased down. But again, it's a new Barek versus a Brightwing. Brightwing was one of the best 1v1ers in terms of delays, but not so much when it comes to kill potential or wave clear.
I don't know if Team Freedom's going to be able to get this. The rotation from Gale Force was fantastic. This is what the global comp is designed to do. They get the kill on Illidan. They have a man advantage. They pick up their safe nuke and the bottom. Dahaka is going to shoot his nuke, and then he'll be able to come into this fight if he is needed, but still wants to clear out the mercenary camp.
Illidan's making his way through, and he'll be here for the fight. Portal's going to be used. They go through. A lot of the members are going to take it. Cure trying to split the members. Fan gets impaled and knocked up. Caffeine's the focus. He drops the warhead, so nothing is going to happen, really, with that. That was all it is, just the warhead to deter, and Team Freedom nopes right on out.
Yeah, but it wasn't like it was a nuke that was dropped in a way to pick up another one. Now, the two have been used. Dahaka used his in the bottom. One is dropped here, but there's still one to fight over. The problem for Freedom, though, is that Gale Force is just about to get to 10, thanks to having Dahaka go straight to Soak and having Illidan for Freedom's side come in for the fight.
Brightwing going back up in the top to be able to match the Rhaegar here. Illidan is going to be holding his own through bottom, so a lot of experience being gained for Freedom while they get this stall out. Will Dansky go through this portal? No, instead we'll take the slow, more passive route.
Yeah, he only has 17 stacks of Master's Touch, and there is way too much lockdown and scariness for Gale Force to deal with. Speaking of scariness, Brightwing picked Emerald Wind, still waiting on ETC's Heroic. We've got adaptation for Dahaka.
Top boss is going to be started for Team Freedom. Akaface, he's scouted it out. Mike Udall's going to join in the party. Brushstock not going to connect, but the Rain of Vengeance. We see the Emerald Wind, but the passive, he can't heal through it. The boss is the real MVP. That's the first kill. The hunt comes down.
But Kier and Zug are going to turn their focus back to the boss. It's about halfway down, and this is the big benefit. Leyline Seal must be used. Dansky needs to get into Raven form because he was at 19 stacks. That is a heroic ability that's been procced. Where is this boss at? Can they get it in time? It's still not quite down.
And they have no leyline now.
Nope.
The boss is going down. Warheads are being sent onto the point. King Caffeine drops himself a mosh pit. First it drops Rhaegar. Nasmus is going soon after. Reset on reset, but the boss is Gale Force's.
And Cure is the next kill. Only Medivh survives. He does protect his stacks. I think they'll be very glad that they did use that, but forcing Leyline Seal so that that wasn't available, and then Team Freedom still being willing to damage the boss. I didn't see. There must have been a cleanse on ETC because Rain of Vengeance went down to try to stop Mosh. Did you see the cleanse?
I did not look for the cleanse individual. I was concentrating on the kill potential on the right-hand side, but I'm going to say that as a guy who's cleansed a lot of Mosh pits, Rain of Vengeance is one of the easiest ones for me to deal, so I wouldn't be surprised. I talked about the Tychus nade. That's one of the few. Or Cocoon. If you can pre-cleanse a Cocoon, you are absolutely a god among men.
Living legend.
Yes. Some of the more difficult spells, but Rain of Vengeance, it displays, and more importantly, it's like how the sun ends up hitting. The delay is a little bit too easy to rid of, so not surprised there. King Caffeine, he's going to go ahead and drop the Warhead, getting the bonus damage onto the keep.
Rain of Vengeance too late to stall that out. The boss opens up the gate for Gale Force Esports to come in, knocking. There's a minion camp, or a mercenary camp behind this. Still a fairly low boss, and the keep is about at 3rd health down.
This is a fight that Team Freedom might be able to force. They don't have Illidan with the hunt, though, for another 40 seconds, but the keep falling below 50%. At 13 talent tier is not an unwinnable team fight. We have seen crazier. Portal's drop for Dansky, but nobody's going to take the bait yet.
They still have Leyline Seal if necessary, but all they're trying to do is get Nasmus into position to clear out this mercenary camp. Zugrug very far aggressively forward, stalling out and holding,
they lose the keep.
Getting all of the leaming poke that they can with their bodies.
I think that they've taken too much damage. They're 10 seconds out before Cure's going to get the hunt. He's actually noped right out. He's going for that bottom warhead. Keep picked up here 9 minutes and 30 seconds into the game for Gale Force Esports with that 2-level lead. Dismount is nice. Zugrug seeing a bit more into the scout. First warhead consumed by Team Freedom. It's all about this one up on top.
And the timer for the top boss begins for Team Freedom. Time to get 13, get some push somewhere else going. We're going to take another look at that epic boss fight.
So first of all, the boss Poison is just ripping through the members on the right-hand side. There goes the Rain of Vengeance. Rain of Vengeance missed.
Yeah.
Actually, just flat whiffed King Caffeine on that mosh pit. And that was a huge reason for the success there. I will say that I don't think even if the mosh pit didn't go off, I don't know if Team Freedom can win that fight. Once they all got hit by those banelings, 3 of their core damage dealers with no ley line were below 25% HP. Realistically, you're never going to be able to move up into there.
Right. Dansky was already on his last leg of life and could not die. Had to use Force of Wills on himself, which meant no Force of Wills for the rest of the people who were sitting on the point.
So Nasmus sadly didn't, get the connection that he was looking for there, but we'll see. I bet, he'll be able to close that up there a little bit more onto the next mosh pit. He's a longtime Vola player, and, I mean, let's be real here. He has made a name for himself in North America. If this was 8 months ago, I'd be like, maybe he's a little overhyped. But now I know he has shown and proven to himself here in North America. Team Freedom.
We're going to try this again for a second time. 1-1 on the nukes
Let's do this.
15-13, so this is the case for Team Freedom to get into a fight. King Caffeine's going to sniff this out. Dahaka's in the top. Everyone collapsing. It's Li Ming and Genji who aren't the globals. The rest can global in. We're going to have this for another time. Here we go, Dread.
And the Cocoon just makes it not even an option. Really well done. Now Team Freedom, they're going to go in. They're going to try and force. Aka's Emerald Wind gets interrupted. That would have been huge.
It is stopped. It would have separated the team, but now Fan gets stopped with the Leyline seal with the Dragon Blade.
They're out of Rain of Vengeance, so that is now a free Genji on the backline. Fan, Cyber Agility through. They find themselves in Illidan. What more can they get? They go through the portal. Raven forms achieved 1-4-0 at the end of the day. And wow, I cannot tell you guys, if that Emerald Wind goes off immediately, Team Freedom loses 3 members. The fight is done. It is done. That was perfect.
It was an awesome job by Zagrag, but Team Freedom still lost their Illidan. Illidan was far forward. The Leyline seal captured a lot of Gale Force Esports as soon as the Dragon Blade went down. So Dansky was watching for the right thing. But unfortunately, the separation of the team still was the end of Illidan, and Gale Force pulls ahead even more, hoping to tie this series up. They lost on Brax's holdout, but wanting to get a victory against Team Freedom and Freedom's chosen battleground.
And Gale Force Esports here is looking very different than they looked in game number 1. We talked about the the lack of a cap that exists on a Gale Force Esports composition, that they have essentially no ceiling to kind of hold them back. What is the word? There's a common phrase for that. The sky is the
limit?
There we go. Sky is the limit is the phrase I'm looking for. The sky is the limit for them in this type of composition. And I said, do they have the coordination to get away with it? They are very much showing that they do here today. We know in the past that they have been a global team, but after Space Station Gaming and then after Game 1, I just didn't know what to expect here. And it does feel like we're getting a bit more of Gale Force of old.
Aka phase trying to phase shift away. Rain of Vengeance does not catch her in time, and now the rest of the team is collapsing on the 2 in the bottom for Team Freedom. Illidan hunts in, making this a 3-for-3.
He's going to make it a 3-for-3. Nasmus for sure is going to be going down. There's the reset. Genji's going to start that channel for Gale Force Esports. Another Warhead picked up. After they get the bottom one, they're going to have 3 Warheads, 3-level lead. And more importantly, Team Freedom still without a 16 talent here. I would like to see Gale Force try and force with this, and it looks like they're going to do so through that top boss.
Yeah, if they get top boss, game over, taking that with 3 nukes. But at least if Team Freedom maybe can force them to use their nukes, not lose anybody, and maybe even get a kill on the back of that boss afterward. It's still fairly earlier in this game. Try to take that out. It's not a super late game, but not having a keep there, Team Freedom is out of options.
And they can't do this, though. With the Emerald Wind in the mosh pit, there's so much boss control by Gale Force Esports. It just seems so very risky. Nasmus is going to make his way up. Pure opens up.
Yeah, but there was so many Banelings there. They have to use Ancestral early on in the fight.
And now Li Ming, if they end up getting it all in, the Warhead, only 1, 2. Okay. The boss is going to be dead.
Oh, so awesome that Gale Force just stopped attacking the boss until the nukes were done. Now Kier goes back in on top of the point.
Emerald
the boss is claimed.
They got the boss. Team Freedom at least stalls out this game a bit longer, but reset. 1, there's 2.
3, 4, about to be, and 5. Nope.
Nope. Medivh. Nope. Medivh. Nope. Medivh. Why is this character a thing?
5.
I get so triggered by Medivh portal so bad. Oh man!
But the boss was taken by Team Freedom, who now have 16 at the end of that fight. And Gale Force just deals with the boss. They lost too many. They lost the two of their globals, so they did not get the end. Freedom lives on.
Freedom does live on, and I mean, I'll be honest, I counted them out. I did not think with the Emerald Wind Mosh that they had any chance of being able to make that happen. And the minute that Cure went in, you had a vocal like, oh, like this is, hello? Like, are we okay here?
And to
be honest, I think that was the only reason they won that fight is because Gale Force saw the same thing you did and goes, we can kill this. They baited too many resources into that. I mean, yes, there was the clever holding off on the boss, the double warheads going down, but I don't think if Cure hadn't have made that play, I don't know if they necessarily would have gotten the confusion they needed Gale Force to have to actually secure the boss. So
that's a good point.
Worth the trade there, Cure.
Now a boss in the bottom, as well as another mercenary camp, the Hellbats. There's no nukes for Team Freedom, but there is one still being held onto by K1 Pro. So if things get especially hairy in this defense, that is a possibility. The Team Freedom don't look like they want to continue pushing on with this. Why did I say there was a boss? I don't know why I thought that. Just the mercenary camp, but there's a boss now.
It's called this party shrub. Hunt, all in, Calf.
Right wing.
He gets in, power side, Emerald Wind. They do it. The portal's down though. They're gonna keep going. Akaface gets revealed after the
Cure.
Mike Udall goes in and Cure is dead. Zugrug falls. Man, Gale Force Esports, they walk into a party shrub and they're the ones forcing Freedom back.
Man, that barely phase shift landing and then Emerald Wind after, buying time for King Caffeine to get somewhat healed up. Now the portal's there, everyone trying to stay away. Fan still using Dragonblade now on Nasmus as Medivh falls. They're looking for the resets to end the game. They get another one, only Rhaegar's left, and there is a keep down with a mercenary camp on the core.
Yeah, they've got that pressure onto the core and this solo lone Rhaegar. If maybe the Illidan, in fact, was the Medivh coming back with that lane line seal, I would increase the chances. But luckily for Team Freedom, that bottom fight happened, I mean, exactly there on bottom. So you see this kind of awkward transition from Gale Force Esports just to get into position. Illidan's alive before they even get to the core, but then the warheads get thrown down.
Brightwing got another one too, so there's a second. People are respawning from Team Freedom, but it looks like the fight won't happen because the nukes take down the core and Gale Force Esports ties up the series.
They are going to tie this one up 1-1 in a much more calculated fashion than we saw from them. In more Gale Force manner, we know them to be the global team and to be able to pick it up here. They've laid off on the globals for a long while, really, and they've shown recently to kind of trend more and more towards it. Never have we seen that high 3-man global priority until like phase number 1, I want to say. So for them to bring that back, show the coordination even after Space Station Gaming and after game number 1 to Freedom, I think says a lot for the future of this series.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to all 5 games, but I'm also looking forward to Game 3. We're heading to a commercial break. When we come back, we'll have that Game 3. We'll see you soon.